Hello sewing friends, Deb here from New Zealand, just doing a few little chores in my up here in my bedroom where I do my sewing. Thought I should give you all a little update on where I am. So the beginning, to begin at the beginning. So one of my latest things is it's just suddenly become kind of really warm now in New Zealand. Obviously we're into our summer, and I dug out some of the things I made last year, some of the sewing clothes, and actually what I've got on, which I'll show you properly in a moment. This was an experiment, this and another top, because I never had any, when I wanted to layer clothes, I never had anything that sort of goes underneath. So I wanted to try and see if I could make something. So I've made two tops, this green one and another one which I'll show you in a minute. Now these were made from Burda 7509. Now it's designed to be cut on the bias, but I did actually do that with this green top, but I didn't with the other top. And the reason being, I didn't realise that when you cut something on the bias, it really can waste a lot of material. So there wouldn't have been enough material. Both of these were from my stash, so I wanted to use fabric that I already had. And I guess this should be made out of something silky, really. But hey, I had the pattern and I wanted to try it. So I ended up, so I made that. It must have been probably January, February of 2019, at the end of last summer. So Sunday I wore it. I wore them both actually, but this one I wore all day. And what I discovered was that it was gaping a lot. And what I think I'm going to do is I've pinned it out and I'll show you now. See, I'm going to just pinch out and put a seam up centre front, because that's where it seems to gape the most, and leave it as a little pleat or something. I've just tacked it up at the moment. Hey, I don't give up on my clothes easily. You know, I spend a lot of time remaking things, and actually this video is going to show you just how much I'm willing to keep trying. So I just put on the other one and I'll show you. It's actually got the same problem. Now this was also made in cotton when it probably should have been something silkier, and I've fitted it, I think, to myself last year, but something's happened anyway. And this also gapes at the bust, and I'll show you what I mean. So every time you lean forward, so I think I'll put a little tuck in this one too, but this one, because it wasn't cut on the bias, I already took some darts in at the back as well, which you probably can't see because of the busy print, but yeah, I think I'll take a little tuck in just at the top of this one. I hate things that gape. Yeah, which reminds me that I think one thing I've come to see is that I probably need to go down to maybe often I've been cutting things size 20, but I think I need to go down at least to size 18 on my shoulders. I'd always kind of thought of myself as having big shoulders, but obviously they're not quite as big as I thought they were. Anyway. So I've moved the camera because I wanted to know if you guys had seen anything like this. Now this behind here is a horn sewing cabinet, and I'll show it to you in a moment. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it back in Europe, but I'd seen a few of these here on Trade Me, which is our version of eBay, and I'd looked at them, and I think I had a look at them new, and they were over $1,000, and occasionally I saw one come up on eBay. So I thought, when I saw one that came up for $150 that wasn't too far from me, I thought, damn it, I'm going to buy it. Now, I'm not very struck on the veneer, but you look at this. Isn't that cool? 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 So for somebody who sews in her bedroom, that's turned out to be a boon, actually. And I've moved my overlocker, which I'll show you here, into the corner where my sewing machine used to be. And on the back of the door there are all the projects that are waiting to have little alterations done to them. Because, of course, we've just changed seasons and I'm trying to work out, you know, what I can rescue from last year into this year. Sorry, this top's annoying me a bit. I've also been a-dyeing. This, which was a little blue dress, I dyed into a little pink dress. And this was a beige coat that I made from the Luca pattern, which, after I found some red dye, I turned into a pink coat. Actually, I really rather like the colour of this, but of course now it's summer and it's jolly hot. I'm in a bit of a dilemma because I don't like cutting out very much, and it partly because it makes my back ache. I'll do it on my dining room table, but it probably needs a higher table, but hey, haven't got one of those right now. However, I've recently, after vowing that I was to buy no more patterns unless they really had something significantly different, I did end up buying, I don't know if you can see it, the Melody Dolman, just because it comes so highly recommended. I think it was recommended by two sewing vloggers that I regularly see. One is Dorothys' daughter and the other is Lifting Pins and Needles. I think they both said that it's an awesome make. So I thought, well, as I have a new job, I would like to make some shirts. And because I thought I want to make two, I thought, well, maybe if I cut them both out and I use fabric that's similar, I could actually kind of sew them up almost together, one directly after the other. So what I used was some pink and white stripe and some more pinky. There's the collar of the other one. Pretty, eh? And they're both actually charity shop finds. But now, and I also cut out a cashmerette Upton dress. I cut it out with the same idea. It's got a slight bit of stretch, but I'm actually wondering now if it's too hot to have this fabric. So now I have 3 garments cut out, and I must admit I'm feeling okay. I don't feel too pressured. I have also got, as I say, got multiple alterations and things to do, but yeah, I don't know about this cutting out ahead. And the other thing is, when you cut it out, you've got to kind of fold it up some way. How do you do that? I kind of lack for places to put it, and I don't really want to fold the pattern and the fabric too much or get them mixed up. So if you've got any ideas there, please let me know in the comments. Another thing that came out of the suitcase as summer clothes was this dress. Well, this is the top of it. I'll show you it in a picture now. Now, this fabric that I made this dress with, I got from, actually, when my mum died and I had to clear out her house, it was in her stash, and she'd actually been blind for, fairly blind, maybe too blind to sew probably for 20 years. So she's had it for years and years, and it was just the kind of thing she liked, this little Victorian pattern. And I'm not sure the colours really do anything for me, but I had to bring it and I had to use it, as you can imagine. So I want to try and remake this dress into something that I like. Now, I was pretty happy with it when I made it. It's the Love Notions Sonata dress. But on wearing it, I had thought at the time that the waist was quite high on me because I'm tall, 5'8". What I found when I wore it was that every time I lifted my arms, the waist came up under my bust and just kind of got caught there and stayed there. So I've taken the bodice off the bottom, and I'm managed to find a few little pieces of the material. Luckily, because it's such a busy print, I hope it will be okay. I'm going to try piecing them together so I can bring the waist down a little bit, and I think that will make that dress a lot more wearable. So yes, other than that, I've got a few alterations to make. Here's a pair of shorts. Almost all my shorts are either but what they are trousers that I cut the legs off because they were bagged at the knees, or I'd ripped them, or they'd gone a bit shabby. I'll use those for gardening. But these ones were quite good actually, and I tried them on and they fit me quite well, as you can see. Only $1 in the Red Cross shop. They fit me quite well, but I've got this usual problem that I'm very long from waist to crotch. So last year I deepened the crotch on some existing black long shorts that I had, and it was pretty successful. You know, just by turning the one leg out and tucking it into the other, you do get a look at the crotch. And I just found just deepening that seam seemed to make all the difference, because I guess for years and years I never realised it, but one of the reasons why I have such trouble buying trousers is because I'm just very long from crotch to waist, and I end up buying trousers that only come up to the top of my tummy and not my waist, and then they've got to be a much bigger size, and then they hang off me. So it's really good. That's such a blessing of sewing, knowing that and being able to do something about it. So I need to rescue them. So yeah, I've got a few other things that I need to rescue. If I make a good success of them, I'll put them into a future video. Other than that, what else is going on? I don't think a whole lot. I'm just trying to have some nice peaceful sewing. I've got a new job, and whereas I've been working part-time for about 18 months, now I'm going to work full-time again, which I'm not really looking forward to. But what I want to do is to try to come up, and instead of having big sessions of sewing, try to just, you know, do a few hours at a time. Maybe come up and do an hour in the evening, sew a few things. That's quite, I'm a generally pretty all or nothing, but I think I need to learn to pace myself and not sew until I'm absolutely exhausted. So I'd be interested to know how you manage that. Do you tend to have great big sewing sessions? Because I know it does take a while to sometimes to get yourself into what you're doing. Or do you sort of pace yourself and do little short sessions? Don't know. I'm inclined when I get going to want to keep going, and then find that, you know, it's getting later and later and later. And thank goodness actually that I'm sewing in our bedroom, so my husband will literally come, get into bed while I'm still sewing, and fall asleep, and then I think, oh crumbs, I better put this away. So it is a check on me in that way. But yeah, I wonder how everybody else manages that. Please let me know. Okay, so I think that's enough tonight. Yeah, hope to see you all again soon, and yeah, look forward to seeing your videos and lots of sewing inspiration from other people. See you soon. Hope you're enjoying your winter, because we're just really getting summer now, and it's glorious. Okay, bye.